The Trump campaign has now gone full mask off and has resorted to tweeting mugshots of black people. That's the argument. Whoa, I punched my mic there. That's the argument for not voting for Joe Biden. Tweeting mugshots of black people charged with crimes. These are posts from the verified Twitter account Trump War Room. Trump War Room is an official account run by the Trump 2020 campaign team. And they have been tweeting images like this one that we're putting up on the screen for our video audience of a black man charged with violent crimes. Remember, in our system, you are innocent until proven guilty. They're very quick to talk about that when it comes to sexual assault allegations against people like Donald Trump. But again, they're highlighting charges against someone. Another example that they tweeted out of a guy named Donovan Boone, also black, charged with crimes. And there's a ton of these that they've been tweeting out, claiming that these are people that are free thanks to Biden campaign officials who donated to pay bail fees. So this is both, number one, completely obvious and transparent in terms of it's just a racist attack to try to hurt Joe Biden. And number two, and this is the part that I hate to admit, but really it's an indictment of the people who vote. This actually might work. I mean, I don't know, the Trump War Room Twitter account is not necessarily the place people are going to for news about the campaign. But the idea that they're floating this on Twitter could lead to Trump talking about it in more detail. And these are effectively Willie Horton ads. Willie Horton ads are still studied and discussed today. If you don't know what they are, back in 1988, Massachusetts Governor Michael Dukakis, who has been a guest on this program multiple times, was the Democratic nominee and was running against George H.W. Bush. And George H.W. Bush started publicizing with a variety of different so-called Willie Horton ads how Michael Dukakis let Willie Horton out. And it was the start of this idea of Democrats. It was more officially codifying the idea of Democrats are going to release dangerous black people into society. You aren't safe. Vote for the Republican who will actually keep you safe. This is the exact same thing that we are seeing from the Trump campaign. And when you step back and, they're tweeting mugshots of black people, I mean, it's fully brazen at this point in time. Trump's continued use of the term China virus. He's talked about, Kung flu, Wuhan flu, all of this stuff. Back at the beginning of his campaign, Mexico is not sending its best. It's sending rapists and criminals and some who I'm sure are probably good people or whatever the exact quote was, playing coy with the white supremacists who have been activated and coalesced by his campaign. We've seen it all time and time again, and this is essentially the same stuff. So the real practical question for Biden-Harris is how to deal with this. I sort of exchanged a few messages with Democratic strategists about if you were running the Biden campaign, how do you deal with this? Because on the one hand, you could say, well, it might actually be effective to try to expose and criticize the fact that the Trump campaign, official campaign people, are using these sort of racially tinged Willie Horton type strategies. But on the other hand, it doesn't really seem to have worked. And what I mean by that is Trump has been saying xenophobic stuff and using racist dog whistles for years. He did it in 2015, early in his campaign, into 2016. He's done it throughout his presidency. And his approval rating stuck right around the low 40s. And what has actually hurt Donald Trump over the last several months have been three issues. It's been coronavirus handling, it's been the economic situation as a result of the coronavirus handling, and Trump's authoritarian reaction to the George Floyd protests, suggesting and actually sending in National Guard and sort of further militarizing reactions to protests that are over police brutality to begin with. So the, grab them by the you-know-what stuff, the going after Trump for the xenophobia, it really hasn't worked. So other Democratic strategists I spoke to said, I would ignore it. I would focus on what has actually hurt Donald Trump. And in the event 2 days ago that Biden and Harris did, Kamala Harris focused on an unnecessarily bad economic situation. Coronavirus hit every country, and every country's economy has suffered. But it's worse here because of Trump's failed response. We know that actually is mattering to voters. hit Trump on coronavirus, which Harris did during this first campaign event 48 hours ago. That's another approach from Democratic strategists who are saying the going after Trump for his crass nature and the language and all that, it's not really worked. Focus on what has worked. I don't know what the Biden-Harris team is going to do about the birtherism, about the Willie Horton ads and all of this stuff, but we will follow it and we will see. On August 23rd, we will be at the 15-year anniversary of the show. Huge milestone for us. On the one hand, we're heading towards 1 million subscribers on YouTube. And on the other hand, we have this amazing milestone that is going on. So on August 23rd, we will be sending out an email to everybody on our mailing list with a ungodly, is really the best way I could describe it, membership discount. I would love for you to take part. I would love for you to grab a membership as we get into this final stretch before the election. And in order to be notified on August 23rd, just get on my mailing list by signing up at davidpakman.com. We'll take a quick break. We will open up the phone lines. I have some of your questions I want to answer a little bit later. We've got a great bonus show. It's Friday, and we have a fantastic program for you. If you love feeding your intellectual curiosity, but you're always struggling to find the time, check out one of my all-time favorite apps called Blinkist. Blinkist lets you consume an entire book on your way home from work. They take thousands of popular nonfiction books, condense each one into text or audio that you can get through in just 15 minutes, and you get all of the important core ideas and information from that book. It's perfect if you don't have enough time to do all the reading you want to do, or if you just want to sample a book before you buy the entire thing. I recently read A Brief History of Time, of course, by the great Stephen Hawking. This is a book that I have been aware of for so long, and other things got in the way, and it was fantastic to check it out on Blinkist. Blinkist has books on politics, philosophy, science. They have 27 different nonfiction categories, and a subscription is only about $8 a month, and you get the entire library. But you can try it totally free and get 25% off a subscription when you go to Blinkist.com/Pakman. I've put the link right underneath this video.